Hi guys, so I don't know what year this Q&A took place in, but I think it was 2022, and it took place in Italy, participants from Italy and also the US. It's crazy how I came about this, because let me tell you the reason that I came up about this. So basically I was watching the show Dark Matter. It's on Apple TV, and it got me thinking, what do channelers say about dark matter? Like, what is dark matter? And so, because, you know, different channelers get their information from different sources, I guess, in different modalities. And this came up, this like article, I guess from 2022. So if you just search up on Google, what do channelers say about dark matter? It'll literally be like the first link, and it'll have you download this entire article. So this is in the Journal of Scientific Exploration. If you want to read all the information, like the background and all of that, I'm not going to read that to you. I'm just going to get down to the Q&A, like the really, really important questions. That's what I'm going to read to you and tell you guys what like their interpretation is. So it's going to look like this. This is the question. I'm doing it on my iPad. These are the questions. If you want to screenshot that. It looks like that. So we're going to go through these. I think I'm going to make a part 2 to this, because I think this is too much to cover in one like go. So the first question is, the physicist describes an observation as a collapse of the wave function, or as a possibility turning into actuality, or as a realization in mind of one branch of the multi-universe. From your vantage point, what does an observation look like? So we got a lot of different answers to that. And I'm just scrolling through the pages to get to that answer. Sorry. Okay. So 7 of the 15 channelers mentioned multiple universes, and the others did not refute that there are multiple universes. Here's where the lighting is the best. Reality was expressed as multi-dimensional with infinite potentiality. Observation was described as one finite point in a field of infinite possibilities. An observation has finite properties, whereas the possibility has the properties of infinity. And so we could explain observation as being one point that is simultaneously infinite in and of itself, as it is infinitely expanding, as it has its own energy field and is breathing and existing and shifting and changing. Channeler 16 said, in the presence of many universes, the observer creates the desired universe at that moment. The observation is created by intention focused on a specific space-time. US 7 said, when you humans observe from your vantage point, it is simply because you're focusing on and bringing the attention to that point in time in your timeline. In this multiverse, in the vastness of space, there is no time, distance, or space. So what we are seeing is a folding in and a stopping in an observation. 2 channelers likened this collapse function to an image in a movie. For example, the way you might see it as a million movies flashing in front of your eyes a million times and catch one frame. In a way, it's as if there were many still frames from which to choose to create a sequence for a movie. A particular frame has meaning when in that sequence, but if inserted into another sequence, another movie, it could take on a different meaning. Okay. So someone else said, the particle exists in the multiverse and its observation is the same as looking at it in the pre-chosen universe or choosing it randomly, or taking a snapshot of the wave function at a certain moment. In all 3 cases, it is based on the probability of finding a particle in a certain point at a certain time, and the observed particle at that moment exists because its appearance is created. Okay, and then another one said, I want to get to the next question already, but this one says, it's not the same observation that you see with your eyes. We do not have eyes from our vantage point. From our vantage point in the multiverse, we see endless space and lines of creation. Okay, I'm going to get to the next question because there's so much to cover. How do you explain the succession of incarnation experiences in a timeless dimension? Channelers were nearly unanimous in one part of their response to this question. One channeler said, there are not multiple physical lives. It's like putting on different clothes. What is interpreted as successive lives are actually simultaneous and can be counted in any order, even in terms of evolution of consciousness. They express that timelessness is not the same as no time. Time only exists on the material plane. In the non-physical dimension, there is an infinite continuum. Thus, the same being can experience lives in multiple times simultaneously that appear linear from a human perspective. So what is labeled as past lives are actually only different simultaneous experiences of the same consciousness. All of these timelines are happening at the same time, even though from your vantage point, you're only having one lifetime at this time. The lives are not in temporal sequence, but each level is contrasted with the others in terms of awareness. Okay. Others commented that reincarnation results in wisdom not because it happens sequentially, but because it adds to a soul's experience in a non-linear fashion. US 7 stated, I think that means like channeler from the US, but number 7. It's really just more about experiencing, expanding, creating, and aligning, and becoming more and more of a creator. And I was telling this to my friend the other day. I told her, I think one of the purposes to life, and literally to life in general, is to just become more and more of a creator. Like, that's why we have like missions, and we're like passionate about certain things. And we have like desires for certain reasons, because we are supposed to do them. We're supposed to create them. We're supposed to fulfill them and do these things, or else we wouldn't have that innate desire to do them. Do you know what I mean? That's just how I feel personally. So I do agree that one of the meanings of life is to just literally, I know it sounds very simple, and it might just be to just become more and more of a creator, and just like create just whatever you want. The next question is question number 3. Who or what prepares the physical body for his or her own incarnation? How is it created? So 2 channelers from Italy mentioned a matrix, one as the matrix of invisible worlds, and another as a matrix expressed by the supreme beings. 2 channelers talked about the intent to have an experience, which then produces a plan for incarnation. 15 stated, the intent to have an experience produces the plan. US 7 stated, but it is mostly and truly the intent of the consciousness of what it wants to expand and create and co-create together with the other consciousness that are curious and expanding and growing and creating together. There was an apparent dichotomy in the amount of preparation required. Channelers offered a wide range of often conflicting perspectives. For instance, participants were split on whether the spirit and body went through a high or low level of preparation before being incarnated. Multiple channelers stated that there was significant preparation. The spirit that will inhabit the body is what must be prepared. It is a difficult journey, one that requires complete healing from previous experiences. The soul is prepared as one might prepare for a sacred ritual, and you are involved in co-creating your form and co-creating your physical body And there are many stages to preparing the physical body pre-incarnation to this earth body that you know, or that you are currently inhabiting at this time. Others mentioned that the soul is a director of what their life and body would look like, and that the soul decides to experience the experiences that it wants for expansion. So in coordination with the guidance team, it receives an assignment for its growth. Then it chooses its family and what its life will look like in an attempt to obtain those experiences. US3 stated, when the individual identifies what they are to become for their own evolution and expansion as a soul, they are given an assignment for such expansion that the soul is the one that decides how it wishes to expand. And then it is in coordination with spirit to receive that assignment. Someone else said, there is no dress rehearsal. Life does not end. It's just a different place that you go to learn, to reflect, and to accept responsibility for the things you need to do from your previous actions. You could have been living on Sirius B as a blue person, or as a prisoner of war, or you could be an ethereal helper in an interdimension, helping those who are struggling to cross. Overall, responses to how the physical body was created were particularly diverse. Channelers rarely answered the question directly. Varied answers included being based on harmony or disharmony acquired in other lives and karma. One channeler said, it's a cluster of subatomic particles that come together in an ever more complex way, following a construction plan, a matrix expressed by the supreme beings. Another person expressed that the body is created from the void, from a breath, and is made of primary structures. A third one shared that the human structure is a mirror of the greater collective crystalline consciousness that is Earth. Someone else said, the physical body is created by two cells which unite. Before conception, there is a plan shared with the incoming essence, even the accompanying thought forms, based on what occurred in the previous life and what will be required in the new life. Okay, I like this one too. An essence may live multiple parallel lives simultaneously on different dimensional planes. Multiple gestations with associated births on multiple planes. This question 4, I think I'm going to skip because it's just so like bizarre. It says, what month and year will the next supernova occur, and in what part of the sky, specific constellation if possible, or north or southern hemisphere? I'm going to skip it, but I'm going to tell you the dates that they said potentially could be. 2024, of course, 2050, the year 3000, and the year 6050. And some of the locations were possibly the location of Leo and the location of Antares. Other answers were Cassiopeia, Andromeda, and the northern hemisphere of Scorpius or Serpens. Okay. Wait, was that question 3? I think that was question 3, you guys. Okay, now this is question 4, I believe. Okay. Just as Planck's constant sets the scale of quantum phenomena and the fine structure constant, the scale of electromagnetism, is there a universal constant or constants that characterize the mind-matter interaction? What is the magnitude of dimensions of this constant, and how could we go about measuring the numbers? So someone said, we would say that the heart field is the governor of all the wholeness that exists. Another one said, starting with the heart frequency, I think is 528 hertz above, which there are lower ones that can create some things, but the experiments that you're specifically looking for are 528 hertz and above. Other answers were varied, some of them saying that the mind of God is the source of all creation, it's related to the Fibonacci sequence, but the vibration changes, so there's a dynamic there. Others said intentional thoughts via creative love. 5 of the 7 channelers mentioned light or aspects of light. Another channeler mentioned that one can only see the constant when it has created, versus the emptiness, darkness, and void when it is not there and has not created light. Most channelers did not mention the magnitude of dimensions. One channeler said, the magnitude varies within and between the species and entities that are being considered. Someone said the first answer to this question is that there is no such thing as a constant. The only universal constant is constant creation, and every constant creation lives within a pattern. Someone said there is no way to quantify the nature of the mind without adopting a model of the soul and a model of the spirit. And US6 said, yes, there is a universal constant for the interaction between mind and matter. It is already known, though it hadn't been recognized as such. You cannot measure that which you have yet to describe or discover. US4 said, you do not have equipment at this point, which also slides down the light spectrum. Until you have equipment which does not manifest and then does manifest, almost contract the being as the being slides down. I don't know what that means. This is as far as I got to the article, like reading it in real time. Question 5 was, what is what humans call matter made of? So I think I read this, and I think I just finished the article with that. 3 coherent themes. I can skip that. Matter is an illusion, which we already know that. We would describe a table or a physical object that you call matter. We would say that it is extremely dense energy that has come into physical form, and beyond that, there is a shared belief system among the perception of what is being seen. Matter is sound, matter is light, matter is intention, and matter is frequency and information. And so within that matter is information. 2 channelers said, one from Italy and one from the US, said that matter is comprised of sound and vibration. 5 channelers mentioned vibration in their answers. The second theme revolved around matter as a product of thought. So someone said matter is the concentration / fulfillment of the thought from our subtle soul part in Earth's dimension. Someone said matter is a type of intention. Someone else said matter is this micro consciousness. Someone else said everything is made with thought. US6 said all matter is composed of the energy of the divine mind. And US2 said matter is spirit force into physical form. It is the essence of alchemy, the spoken word, the command spoken or thought with intention is the power to create. Thought into form is manifestation. There was the idea that thought forms became denser or vibrated at a particular frequency, thus becoming matter. So what you call matter is a solid state of thought forms and vibrational frequencies, and it is made from the same substance as thought, but with a more condensed vibration, which becomes matter. A third, more minor theme centered on the matter's purpose. One channeler described matter as a learning tool for our experiences, stating it was created as a game, a distraction, and as an instrument for growth. We put energy, emotion, thought, love, and reproduction into a microcosm of your universe. Each element of matter is a map and guide to your universe, and you need to learn to use it. Oh, okay. Actually, I think I got to question 6. We'll read question 6. Question 6 says, why is it that with each new incarnation or experience of life, we are not reminded of all the previous experiences and our true nature? So, the reason being, each life should correspond to a reset, a zeroing of previous life experiences. It is not the details of other lives that count, but the experience and level of consciousness attained. Each consciousness, I'm not even saying what channel they're saying anymore. You can figure that out on yourself. I'm just giving you the information because it's easier, you know. But these are different people saying these different things. Each consciousness retains all experiences crucial for growth and challenges. It is a synthesis of all experiences. And some answers refer to a veil or obstacle that blocked humans from seeing the truth of reincarnation and the soul's persistence across lives. In each life, there is a transition. In each transition, there is a veil to remove. The veil or forgetting enables the desired learning of each life. For each life, the important thing is that life's experience, the task assigned to it, Remembering everything is detrimental to these requirements. Now I know why a lot of people, no matter how much proof you give them of past lives or ETs or UFOs or other realities or other dimensions, they'll never like accept it as a reality or a truth, because it really contradicts with their contracts on the planet. Like, they're not supposed to know that information. And I know it takes a lot of, I don't know, I guess strength to realize that, but not everyone, I guess, is meant to know the reality of reality, because it will go against and hinder their soul's mission and what they're meant to do on Earth. It will just create too much chaos, create too much of an opening for potential realities that it's just, their spirit guides probably will reroute them in ways that they don't meet people that will open up their minds, because that is what they're contracted to do. They're contracted to do certain things in 3D, and that's it. They're like not supposed to know about past lives. They're not supposed to know about metaphysics, energy, anything like that. It's just crazy to come to that conclusion, but it would make sense for a lot of people why they are very hard-headed with this information and they will never come across it, like no matter what. Okay, so these experiences are happening and children are having these experiences. They're just shamed profoundly, often through Western psychiatry, into silence. The interesting part is when, as curious adults, you come across evidence from past lives, previous incarnations. Okay, so here, like what I just said, there were multiple similar explanations for why humans are not reminded of their past life experiences. Channelers share that the veil makes it easier for humans to deal with their present life. If they remembered all their actions from previous lives, including negative behaviors, it could cripple their ability to be engaged in their current life. It could even be detrimental to access these experiences, in that it could create suffering or be overwhelming. It's almost too much for the human brain and the experience to look back and know and remember all of these experiences. People can literally lose their mind or go crazy or suicidal. Another channeler said, since physical beings on Earth are largely low to medium level, experiences from other lives are blocked because they can be more damaging than the current life. I also compare this or relate this to the podcast that I saw yesterday with Joe Rogan. It's crazy because I forgot the guy's name, but the title of the podcast was like, it took 18 months to recover from DMT experience. The guy literally had such a crazy trip that it literally took him 18 months to recover. And he said it had opened his mind up like way too much, that he started thinking thoughts like, am I in God's imagination? And just like all kinds of crazy things. And he said that it was just, it opened a door too open that humans are not supposed to be aware of. And I guess that makes sense. Like, we're limited to our 5 senses. We know that we cannot even see or experience most of reality. We can only experience like, I think 0.3% of it or something like that, due to our limited senses. But all we know and all we can go off of is our senses. And we know for sure that that is not all that there is. So for those like experiences to have happened to him, like, it's totally believable that we're not meant to be operating at that level of awareness, because it's just too much. Like he said, he felt like he was going to lose his mind, and I can totally see how someone can lose their mind from just like knowing too much, and just like seeing too much. Okay, the apparent lessons to be learned in the next life: karmically balance the actions from the previous life. The point is for the person to atone for what she did in this life, so she does not go to jail for being a murderer in a past life or in this life. She simply atones for taking a life in a past life. One day that will change. One day humanity will start to assume that they are more than they can see. Soon earthlings will know that the ancient truths of their planet, species, and souls alike. Some share that the veil can be removed through practice of or spiritual growth. Your consciousness already knows all dimensions in which you are present physically and mentally. It is up to you to remove the veil separating you from it. Potentially, you are able to do this at birth. The reason that hypnosis works is because it puts you in sleep. You that assumes this lifetime is all you are is your own nature. It turns off the mind that assumes that what you are is what you experience in this lifetime. And as it turns that off, what it returns is your condition, your true condition, your soul's recorded experience. Wait, some of that sentence did not make sense. Okay. In summary, all channelers aligned with the concept of reincarnation, its educational and experiential purpose integrated across multiple lifetimes. Further, the forgetting between lives allows people to focus on their current life and not be overwhelmed with the potential trauma of knowing their negative behavior or experiences from previous lives. To be honest, like, people struggle way too much right now, just with their current life. And yes, it would answer a lot of things, knowing your past lives, but I can really see it being possibly more damaging than helpful if we recalled a lot of our past lives or all of them. I can see it definitely getting in the way, because I don't think the brain in this 3D world is just built to handle that much data. I mean, I think you can store it. I think you would be able to store it in your DNA, but wait, wouldn't that mean it's being stored in the brain too? I don't know. I think I just contradicted myself and sounded dumb. Because there was like a study recently that you can put like so much information into one little thing of like DNA. And so if you can put that information, then there's DNA in your brain. So I don't know why I wouldn't. Never mind. I think technically it could. We just need to like believe that it can, and then it will. I don't know. But I don't know. It actually just might hinder it, because it would just be like information overload, I feel like. I don't know. Okay. Well, now I look dumb, because I feel like I don't know what I'm talking about now with the whole DNA thing. And what I was trying to say is that I don't know if our 3D brain has enough capacity to store all the information of all of our past lives. That's what I was trying to say, if that makes sense. But now I'm starting to think that maybe it is capable, because of the recent studies showing how much information can be fit into like a little thing of DNA. I don't know what the scale was or the measurement, but apparently it's like freaking a lot of information that you can store into like a little thing of DNA. So I don't know, maybe it is possible, but I'm going to do another part 2 to this, I believe, going from question 7 to question number 10. And then we're going to discuss that, because I actually have stopped reading it from question 7. So I have to read it myself too. But hopefully this opened your eyes a little bit, and hopefully it was very interesting to learn about.